Dude, you sound like you're about to sneeze as you press the record button.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through a high noon, so I was like suppressing a burp.
Nice. Is it that's like just vodka water, right?
Yeah. So
That's cool.
apparently, White Claws are like malt liquor and water,
hmm
and it's like so basically White Claws walked so high noons can run.
Damn, are they really good?
It's not bad. I'm drinking a grapefruit one, but there's
Dude,
like
if it has real grapefruit juice, you got to be careful if you're taking certain medications.
uh,
Grapefruit,
I'm only taking Zyrtec. Does that count?
what's their tech? Is that an antihistamine?
Uh, yeah, it's an allergy medicine, cetirizine or
Yeah.
something.
I'm let's see. Let me think about what could a antihistamine do to you in high doses?
I mean, I literally
I'm not
just take
really
one 10
sure.
milligram pill before I go to sleep or whatever.
Yeah. No, so basically what happens is grapefruit juice or something in grapefruit. I'm assuming it's probably just like one chemical or maybe a series of like related chemicals that kind of look similar that inhibit what's called a CYP enzyme. And what CYP stands for is cytochrome P oxidase. So it's a series of enzymes that are present in your liver that are responsible for the various metabolic reactions that happen to change um, drugs into things that are able to be more easily excreted from the body. So why this is an issue is because if you inhibit, so say you take grapefruit juice and inhibit this CYP enzyme. Well, if the drug that you're taking, so in this case, if it's Zyrtec, if it is metabolized largely by that CYP enzyme, then it's going to have a harder time leaving the body, and you're going to have higher doses of that drug in your. You're going to have higher plasma concentrations of that drug.
So, what
So
does this all mean for
so
me?
this all means that if for some reason you had a patient that was like um had to be drinking grapefruit juice or else they die or something like that, you would have to adjust your dosing protocol to be like a lower dose because the enzymes are going to be inhibited. For you, this probably means nothing because Zyrtec's a benign drug and I like histamines are kind of a weird receptor, so I don't really know much about like what would happen if you had antihistamines in your system in like large quantities, but I assume probably nothing, especially again because like the dose that you're taking isn't like teetering on overdosing on allergy medication every time you take it. So like
Right.
realistically, it doesn't really mean anything. And all this only comes into fruition if it does happen to be a substrate of certain CYP enzymes. So like there's some drugs that like aren't like affected by it, but I think like one of the big ones is like warfarin or like certain blood
Yeah,
thinners.
I've heard of that.
Um, you don't want to be drinking grapefruit juice because you're gonna have more of those circulating in your system, and that could, if your blood's too thin, right, it could lead to internal bleeding, and that's something that we want to avoid if at all possible. But I think a lot of people think it's like the vitamin C ingredient. I say people, I mean like lay people.
Yeah.
Think it's like the vitamin C in grapefruit juice. So I saw this like post recently, like through the grapevine. It was like a Tumblr post or something. So like really through the grapevine because I don't get on
Wow.
Tumblr. And somebody was saying something along the lines like I don't even remember what the connection was, but it was something to do with like don't drink orange juice if you have depression. It was like this whole game of telephone happened, like
Oh,
bad
okay.
logical jumps to conclusions, and then like the final conclusion they came to was like don't drink orange juice if you have depression because it was like grapefruit juice can increase like maybe it inhibits CYP and antidepressants don't get out of your system or something like that, and that means the drugs can have adverse effects. So that got extrapolated to grapefruit juice is bad for people with mental health issues, and then that got extrapolated to orange juice is bad for people with mental health conditions. It's like what the fuck? That was just like the weirdest kind of logical leap you could make in every situation there along the line, but Who am I to judge? I am but a simpleton.
Yeah, that's like the fluoride in the water turning the frogs gay level of
Fuck
whatever.
frogs, gang!
You're an intellectual dumbass, and I hate you.
Dude, that guy is so fucking funny. Alex Jones is hilarious.
Did you ever see the tweet of the Alex Jones like, if you can't handle it me at my best, you don't deserve. You can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And it's like he's like super fat in one of the pictures and like super skinny in the other one. So I'm sending you the picture.
Oh no, I haven't
It's
seen that.
hilarious. For those that are listening, the picture on the left shows a young, strapping Alex Jones with the bright
Yeah,
future in front of him. Picture on the white on the right shows a fat, corpulent Alex Jones in front of a bottle of Jameson. They're looking very depressed and hairless, or
yeah,
not hairless, balding.
quite the juxtaposition.
I love it when the last episode he went on with Rogan, like Rogan was like trying to fact check him every 2 seconds, and like all the facts he was saying were fucking legit, and it's just like, oh jeez. And there was a part of
Whatever
the episode.
happened?
Go ahead.
Whatever happened with the whole court thing? Didn't he show him in court recently for the
The Sandy
like
Hook.
Sandy Hook defamation?
I think he paid out some amount of money to the families. So, but
But didn't he? I thought they like got hold of his cell phone and had implications in like the Trump investigation or something like that.
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention that closely, but
Yeah, he is funny though, and I will stand by that.
yeah. I mean, I don't really listen to his content at all, but I mean, the one episode on Rogan was pretty entertaining that I saw. So,
Yeah, one of my buddies has a Alex Jones soundboard on his phone, and I worked with him quite a few summers, and it was a go-to meme. That's so funny. There's one where he's like, what is it? Like the demons are coming to take the child or something like that, or like,
Jesus.
oh man,
But
he's a
yeah, anybody,
character.
everybody, welcome to episode 19 of the Bone Aaron podcast. We started in media res in the middle of action, so didn't get the proper intro, but
Is that Latin?
yeah, yeah, at least I think so.
Nice, dude.
In the midst of things in Latin, yeah, it's like beginning like a story or narrative, just like in the fucking middle of, yeah. Anyway, so let's get to the main topic of today, some gaming thing that I don't know about.
Yeah, we don't really have a topic, but basically what I oh dude, and I should send you this article to kind of mull over because I was mulling it over at work and it was like it's this article from literally like I think it was in 1990, like early 90s, and this dude was writing about multi-user dungeons specifically. So
Muds.
like like RuneScape, yeah, RuneScape started as a mud, and essentially how these multi-user dungeons worked was like there was a small group of dedicated players, and then there was a developer or like a few kind of developers or like guys that had god characters, immortal characters, and they were referred to as like the dungeon masters or the game masters or whatever. And this guy in this article kind of described this cycle wherein somebody would be playing a mud and they'd get upset, kind of with the mud and want to make their own mud to fix some problem that mud had. And again, mud here means multi-user dungeon. To fix some problem that mud had, and like add to the fill some niche, or provide something to the player base that hasn't been done before. So they leave a mud with a vision, and then kind of create their own mud, and usually kind of recruit people from the previous mud, their friends, to test it out in alpha and beta and whatnot. But what he described was and I forget the terminology that they used. I think it was like wiping and wimping. So wimping is basically just means nerfing, and wiping means like starting the game over, I believe. But either way, both of these terms were kind of actions taken by the dungeon master to like take power away from the players. And in this huge article, I didn't get all the way through it. He describes how nerfing things, wiping or wimping your game is essentially bad, because it leaves the players kind of feeling like, imagine you had like a Mountain Dew or something like that, and then then you got Diet Mountain Dew, and you're like, oh, dude, like this just doesn't fucking taste right. But then like imagine all you ever had your whole life was Diet Mountain Dew, and you're
Yeah,
just
right,
ignorant
right,
to
right.
Mountain Dew. So he says like basically going against what the players want or like disrupting established norms, like long time standing norms for the sake of like your vision or like what you think the game should look like as a minority is like a bad way to go. And it's gonna lead to this again cycle essentially of someone's gonna leave that game because you're being a bitch
Right.
and like make a new game. But all this kind of sprung up because I was browsing the Path of Exile subreddit today. And funnily, I this weekend a new league launched on Path of Exile, which is like a total wipe. Like everyone starts from scratch, and there's a new league mechanic, and they make big changes. And this happens like every 3 months. So I didn't play the last league. I played the one before, and I was pretty excited for this one, just like because it lined up on a good weekend, and I would have had time to play it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then like Monday night, and probably tonight as well. Um, and instead, I like last minute kind of made the decision to go up to Michigan and visit my uncle, my aunt, my cousins, because there was like a bridal shower going on up there. So there were people hanging out at the cottage, and I went up there and hung out with them. And I was kind of bummed that I was missing out on the league. But then it looks like I took a massive fucking dub on that one because I was looking at the subreddit and everyone hates it. Because essentially what happened, and I should provide some backstory first. There's the guy that kind of controls the whole organization of Grinding Gear Games, who produces Path of Exile right now, is this guy Chris Wilson. And Chris Wilson said like multiple times kind of what his vision is for the game. And his vision is this like really hardcore, grindy ARPG, action RPG. So think like Diablo.
So like RuneScape
Um,
3. But no
no,
no
not like RuneScape
microtransactions.
3. No, so yeah, there are microtransactions, and I'll get into that in a second. But so his vision is this like really hardcore, grindy game where like crafting items, it has like a large is totally random basically, very large degree of randomness. Whereas like established crafting methods kind of have some amount of determinism in them. So like you sort of know what the outcome's going to be, but usually for end game items you kind of have to take multiple stabs at it. So there is a huge RNG component, even in deterministic, we'll say, crafting, but Chris Wilson is all for like totally random crafting. Like totally random. Um, which is a problem because it makes it to where the average time to achieve the same item that you could produce by deterministic crafting, it makes that time skyrocket, like exponentially larger amount of time to achieve a given item. Um, and that kind of sucks because people aren't like you're alienating players. Like the game's already hard,
Yeah.
and you're alienating players. So what happened in this most recent league launch is, a week before the league, they give a manifesto where they essentially give a, we'll say, a sort of colloquial narrative on what's going to be changed, why they want to change it,
Yeah,
and
like the
there's
patch
no.
notes basically.
Nope, not a patch notes. There's no hard numbers and they don't commit to anything. They just give this
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like rough and dirty, and this is a week before the league launch. They give this rough and dirty narrative of what's kind of going to be changed, what they're going to do, what the league specific content's going to be looking like. And then a few days before the league launch, so maybe 5 days later, they release the patch notes, and that has the hard numbers and all the changes and stuff. So in the patch notes, everyone was kind of getting hyped because they they added this new skill that everyone was kind of stoked for, and they reworked like some classes, and that this it looks like the same metas from last league were also going to be really viable. So there weren't any huge like shakeups or nerfs, so everyone was pretty optimistic. And then come to find out, everyone's playing the league, and like the loot is just like shit. So people are kind of like scratching their head, like wondering what the fuck's going on. Well, then on it was either on Friday or on Monday, they released a like another blog post, basically equivalent in old school RuneScape, but like another like communication post saying, and it was like it kind of struck as like an oh by the way, like here's some other things we did, and let me just pull up the because it's pinned on the Reddit. Let me pull up the Reddit and see what the actual like article title was, because it really is just kind of comedy. Path of Exile. Here it is. Oh, it's called "What We're Working On." All right,
Mm.
so it's called "What We're Working On." Oh, and some other things I didn't mention. Um, Last league, and this was some aspects of the patch notes, the actual patch notes that people were sort of upset about. Last league, um, well, no, two leagues ago actually, because I played this league. It was Arc Nemesis League. So essentially, they added these like supercharged fucking rare monsters in, and rare monsters aren't rare. They're everywhere in a map, but they're kind of difficult, and they typically drop better loot, but like they aren't like a boss monster. But these supercharged rares were like harder than boss monsters. So that was the league 2 leagues ago. And then for some reason, they decided to shoehorn it into the next league. And that, these rare monsters just kind of like spawned randomly, and you would just get fucking ganked by one. And again, I didn't play last league, so I didn't get to experience that. And everyone hated that. Everyone's like, dude, like, these monsters are so hard to kill. We don't, and the when they were the actual league mechanic, you got to choose what to put on them. So you got to choose how to buff them up. But when they spawn randomly, when they get shoehorned in, you don't get to choose. So they could just have some ridiculous shit on them, and they don't like the standard rare monster under the title of the what it's called. It says what it has. It'll say like faster attacks, extra damage on critical. So it says what the buffs are. On these, it just had some weird fucking names. It'd be like Essence of the Elve, Sharpshooter, Wingmaster, like just some random ass like buzzwords. You're like, well, what does that even mean? Like, what buff does this thing have? And then you just die. You're like, all right, well, that sucks. So and then there's this other, again, I said Chris Wilson was really into random crafting. There was this other league mechanic that's been a long time favorite. It's been in the game for a while now. Harvest, which allows you to change your items kind of, again, in a sort of deterministic way. And a lot of times, Harvest is used early game for just some like quality of life stuff. So like there's jewel sockets on items, and they can be one of 3 colors essentially, and swapping those colors can sometimes be hard depending on what item it is. But Harvest made a pretty facile way to do that, and everyone really liked that. So they kept it in for a while. But what they did this league is they totally butchered what you're able to do in Harvest. So like you can't do that color swap anymore. And then they also made it to where you can't choose as many crafts within the same harvest, so you have to grind even longer to like get the craft that you want. And like again, all the good crafts are gone, so they butchered that. Everyone's kind of just like, what the fuck? But then again, fast forward 3 days in the league, it was either released on Friday or Monday. They released this blog post that's called "What We Are Working On," and essentially they said, oh, by the way, we forgot to put this in the patch notes, but and I'll quote him here. Um, the second reason is that we removed a massive historic bonus to item quantity and or rarity that applied to some league specific monsters. We replaced it with a moderate 2 to 3 times increase in item quantity to offset the fact that they often have more life than regular monsters and some cannot drop maps. End quote. What that basically translates to is every fucking monster within your map is not going to have this quote again massive historic bonus end quote, and they replace that with a measly 2 to 3 times bonus. So nobody's getting loot anymore, and all of the like premier streamers have quit this league. Everyone's bitching on Reddit, and all of this was left out of the patch notes, and it's like basically this is like again goes back to Chris Wilson's vision. This is what he wants the game to be, is like this hardcore, like super grindy game. And he claims that like people will quit the league or like get bored if they have too much power. So like there's just been this streak of leagues where there's just been nerfs, and weird changes. And this one is like this is the biggest one of the biggest changes in Path of Exile history, and it was left out of the patch notes. And yeah, it's a really weird thing to watch go down as a spectator, because again, I'm not participating in this league. I didn't get to play it at the start, but and yeah, I'll try to find that article for you because it was posted on the subreddit here. But yeah, I read that article and I'm like, dude, this is like eerie. Like this is exactly what's going on here. Oh, here's the article. But it's not it's a bit too long to peruse and make any meaningful commentary on right now, but it's a good read. Like I said, I got about a third of the way through it, and
Oh, this website looks like super old school. That's
yeah, it's
cool.
from
I like the
again
old school looking.
1992 or something. Oh no, copyright 97. I misspoke.
It reminds me. It looks like a website like I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's like Tales of the iMac, where they had like all these stories from the original iMac team because it was like a really interesting and like quirky team that made it, and they made the product in like record time, and they were working like 90 hours a week, and it was just like an interesting. And Steve Jobs was like a dick to everybody, but they all loved it because he's just like that charismatic, and yeah. But yeah, the website looked exactly like this. It's just like I like this old school look, to
Okay.
be honest.
Boot here. Yeah, it is really old school. Um, so my question to you, Aaron,
Okay.
is what do you think about all that, and when do you like, as a developer of a game, um, how important is it to like listen to your player base, and like where do you draw that line? Because I can see both sides of the aisle here. Like on RuneScape, for example, when you look at like the subreddit or like the average player, and like look at some of these poll results, and some of the choices that the mods make with regards to like what gets put in the game despite poll results, etc., like there's a lot of shit I don't agree with, and a lot of times that I think the player base is just straight up mental when they are suggesting things. But then like, flip that coin around with regards to Path of Exile, like everything that the community is chanting for is something I can get behind, and something that Chris Wilson and Grinding Gear Games are just completely ignoring and going the opposite way on.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about money. So if they suddenly start making way less money, they'll start changing their strategy. But if they keep making the same amount of money, they're gonna do what they want, right? Because at the end of the day, if Chris Wilson has a controlling share of the company or whatever, he can do whatever he wants. But I mean,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
but it's gonna kill the game. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Like if they,
I
so
mean,
for
is
example,
it actually gonna kill the game or like
let me tell you this, and we can revisit this on another podcast to see if this like prediction comes true or not. But if they don't do anything to fix the loot and some of the other problems in this league, and they release another league with the pre-existing problems that were created this league, plus either not fixing them or creating more problems, you will see peak player count on league launch very low, and probably some like changes to the company. It's the only thing that's keeping them like optimistic right now is that league launch. So they look at league launch numbers, like peak player numbers, because a lot of people in Path of Exile, myself included, like play the fuck out of a league for the first like week or two, or even like maybe 3 weeks to a month sort of time frame. But for good players, like you can really max out a character and get bored within a good like 2 weeks. So a lot of people kind of play the fuck out of the league, maybe buy a microtransaction or whatever, and then like peace on out. But that number is going to falls super hard to next league because assuming they don't fix these problems. Because again, um, they essentially took like two steps back here, and what they have a habit of doing is like taking two steps back, one step forward, right? So I think if they don't at least take the full two steps forward or like two and a half steps forward, sort of thing, you're gonna see that number start going down. And then if there was a consecutive league where that was another issue, like it would be at least 3 data points of a downward trajectory. So I think there would be some big changes because the money would start talking. But there's also like people. If you just like kind of casually look at this Reddit, everyone is saying like, "Yo, vote with your wallet, don't buy MTX." So there's a big like community push to
Yeah, I mean, if the community can actually like rally behind not like buying shit, then that's the ultimate message. So something's gonna change, right?
yeah.
I mean, I've
And
never know like every time League of Legends made a stupid patch, they would like always fix it in the next patch. But
dude, I have no respect for League of Legends anymore because, and I mean, I still don't get me wrong. I play League of Legends occasionally when ever a friend or like a group of friends are playing or want to play, and I'll play like a game or two. But I never play League of Legends solo, and I play a little bit of TFT, so I still engage with their product, I guess you could say. But the fact that they buff and nerf champions according to skin releases is like really kind of fucked, and it's it's pretty well established that that's been the case on multiple occasions, and I don't know how I feel. Actually, I know exactly how I feel about that, but it's kind of weird, especially considering that oftentimes there can be sort of like it's an esport at the end of the day. So like, why are you messing with possible metas for like money? I don't
there's
know.
actually this really good video a long time ago. This player called Double Lift about like how changing the game all the time is like it makes it like less strategic because apparently in StarCraft like whatever version of StarCraft they had the same version for like 3 years or whatever. I'm like all this is all like generalization numbers. I don't remember the exact numbers, but anyways, they had the same version of StarCraft for like 3 years, and then like suddenly this player found this like revolutionary new strategy that was like totally killing everybody. But it had like they had to play the game that long to find all those weird strategies, right? Just because
Yeah,
um, it's just such a complicated game. Same thing with League, like the fact that you keep changing the game like precludes you from finding those weird and awesome strategies because everybody just finds the first thing that works, right? So
yeah. I agree with you. But I also can see the other side of the coin again. Like having watched like and participated in quote unquote competitive league for like I don't know. It was probably at least 4 or 5 years that I like kept my finger on the pulse of the esports side of things. It's been a really interesting to see like complete meta shakeups based on changes to champions or to like oftentimes it's like to jungle critters or creeps or something kind of bigger or broader, changes to the environment. Because, there were seasons where you were seeing like kind of duo jungle for the first 10 minutes of the game or
yeah,
like
that was corny.
roaming supports or like there's been so many like weird metas that I don't think would ever see the light of day if the game were like completely unchanging. But I also kind of can empathize with keeping the terrain like pretty much static forever, and then only kind of changing the champions based on um, who becomes problematic or what have you. But
And I mean,
I
ultimately, I feel like that's the other thing is like until they see like a hugely decreasing player base or whatever, they're not going to change the way they do things because it's the way they've always done it. So they have no incentive to change that.
yeah, but like I don't know. There was one point where I played attack speed Fizz jungle
I
and had
remember
like
that. That was in the summer of 2015.
I had like 40 games on that shit in platinum and had an 80 something percent win rate, dude. That
Yeah,
shit
I
was
remember. That was
cracked. And that
awesome.
was That was all because of like a change to jungle items essentially.
And you
And
just like click on people and they get melted instantly, and then you just E away.
oh my god, dude. That was
Dude, that was so
so
corny. That was the
much
maximum corny.
fun.
Now there've
That
been so many terrible updates to League.
so there was that the two like flavor of the week champions that I've ever played and like had huge success on was, and there might be actually more, but these are the two that come to mind, was that attack speed fizz build, and then when Tom Kench first came out,
That was
that
bad.
guy was ridiculous, dude.
That was
There
bad.
was I vividly remember right outside Dragon Pit, a little bit to the north, in the river. I was on the right side of the map, whatever team that is, and there was a Yi jungle on the left side of the map, whatever team that is, and we met at this river, right, face to face. I was like maybe 0-0-1 assist at this point or something, and Yi was like 7-0. Like this guy was cracked out of his mind, just backed like full items, ready to go. You know, whatever you have at that point. And you know, so still somewhat relatively early in the game, but I think I just completed my jungle item, and I start fighting this Yi 1v1, full health v full health, and I kid you not, I killed this Master Yi and had 80% of my health left at least, and he did not fuck up. He did his auto attack reset, everything. And I like it was just because you had this like I don't know what the damage scaling was, but like when you ate somebody, it just like fucked their shit up. Like they were just dead. And yeah, he just like all chatted 3 question marks and got really demoralized. But
I think
yeah,
the flavor of the month I played was Warwick when the Feral Flare came out. You literally just press
Weedwick,
R and then
was
it
it
just
patch 420 Weedwick?
yeah, yeah. I'm dating myself, season 4, but
Or no, Feral Flare was before season 4.
well, at
Season
any rate,
season
for that whatever patch the Feral like Warwick was just you press R and win. That was crazy.
yeah.
And the other one was like LeBlanc with a Deathfire Grasp. That was nutty. You just
Was this pre when she had her silence?
yeah, but I didn't even use
Dude,
that. You just literally press like you activate the Deathfire Grasp Q R Q, just like the bird, like the bubble, and like you kill their ADC in 2 hits. It was nuts.
I missed that paragraph. That shit's so fun.
Oh, but then
Who is like your main champion for the longest? I went through a few phases,
I
but
mean, like I usually played AD carry just because watched a lot of bot lane streamers. So like Vayne, Twitch, or excuse me, not Twitch. Vayne, Jinx, Tristana, Sivir were my like main four ADs, and then support I played Morgana and Thresh. I'm actually really good at support just because I don't know why, but I am. And then I also played a bit of jungle too, so I played like Lee Sin, um,
hell yeah.
Udyr. Um, I played Elise for a little bit, and I had pretty decent success. But
Did you do
I,
the Lee Sin Q ward jump kick, the insect?
yeah, my thing with Lee Sin was like I always got like massively fed, and then I just didn't know how to carry. So that's kind of why I
What,
stopped playing it because I'd be always be like 6-0 in the mid game, and then just not know how to carry and just lose. So
dude, that I think that is quite possibly the best design champion that Riot will ever make.
yeah, he's so fun. And he's like really fun to play because you can just like mind game people and whatever.
That him and Zed are like just the skill ceiling I feel like is infinite.
Yeah, that and Riven too. I feel like Riven's pretty high.
I feel like Riven gets bodied in competitive play, even when played at a high level.
Well, now she does, but like back then, Riven was like you play Riven mid, and she was like killing, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Faker's pulled out Riven mid a few
But
times.
I mean, that was like 10 years ago now, almost. So it's like okay,
No, I feel like he's done it more recently, way more recently.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't really.
He pulls out some shit as a pocket pick sometimes,
I
and
just
just
watched Tyler
like
one occasion. Like yeah, like I said, I only watch bot lane people, so that's the only lane I learned how to play properly.
yeah,
So and then jungle is like like I mean yeah, it's literally jungle. It's so like yeah, face roll is the word. Like yeah, just mash your face on the keyboard and win. So
dude, I love jungle. I don't know how to lane.
Yeah, top
So
lane
bad at it.
sucks. Mid lane is fine, but I never got mid lane, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna switch.
Yeah. You off tomorrow?
Nah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I only have like 4 days off or 5 days off left this year, so I didn't want to burn anymore. It's not. It's like not even fall yet.
Feels bad. Are you gonna hop on RuneScape tomorrow after work?
Yeah, probably at night. I'm going to running club first, and then I'll be on after that. I think.
Oh shit, you're in a running club now?
Yeah, there's a brewery like near my apartment, and it's every Wednesday. I join it, so
Oh sweet.
they just do a 5K. Speaking of running, I had like the best day, not the best day ever, but I had like a freakishly fast running thing experience this morning. So I don't know if it was a fluke or what. But yeah, I woke up this morning feeling so fresh, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out for a run. And I was just like booking it, and apparently the running tracker said I ran like a 6 minute 15-second mile, and then I just like cruised to like a slow jog for the last half mile. But yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, they just do a 5K, and um, the beer's half off after that. So I have a couple beers and chat with some people. And I've been trying to meet new people.
Have you met any good ones yet?
I mean, this is only my second week of going, so I didn't really. The people I talked to last week were pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like what that kind of thing you kind of got to go like a couple months before you whatever establish yourself as like a regular or whatever.
Yeah. Are you back into the full swing of things at jiu-jitsu?
Nah, I still gonna take like 2 more weeks off or whatever, cause like I can run and I can like deadlift like a medium amount, but I tried benching yesterday and I still felt my rib like jiggling around. I'm like, yeah, it's not quite right
Mm,
yet. It doesn't hurt all the time though anymore, so that's good.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
when I go back,
that's
I'm probably just gonna like not even roll for the first like 2 weeks and just like do the first part of class and yeah.
yeah. I went back to the climbing gym today for the first time in a week.
How's that?
Good. They had a competition over the weekend, and literally everything in there was new. Like every single thing. So I was like, I didn't get to even look at everything. I kind of was working my way around the room counterclockwise, and then eventually got exhausted. So I'll just pick up there on probably like Friday or Saturday. I'm gonna be playing RuneScape on Wednesday, Thursday, but. Yeah, I was like, I kind of just took a week off because of the finger injury, and it's feeling a lot better. I had it buddy taped while climbing a little bit, and it seemed to maybe help. I'm not really
Mm.
sure, but I mean, better try it than not. Because what my hypothesis is that I'm getting, I think my proximal interphalangeal joint, which is the closer one to your hand, again, it's not where your finger connects to your hand, but the next one out. Um, it's inflamed, and I think my finger is also hypermobile at that joint, left to right. And if I'm gripping things in a weird way climbing, especially under some amount of force, and I'm getting left to right movement, I could see how that might cause inflammation. And if you buddy tape it to the middle finger, then you kind of minimize that left to right movement. So that's kind of the thought process, but I'm not sure if it's helping or not. Again, my finger's significantly less sore, but that could just be because I took a week off. But we'll see with more climbing and whatnot, especially once I get back on the kilter board.
Yeah,
But
being
dude,
injured sucks.
would you say being injured sucks?
Yeah.
Dude, it does. I'm nursing an ankle injury right now. That same one actually that I did up at your place. I like sort of had like a re-injury episode where we were doing top rope at the climbing gym, and my girlfriend like dropped me down maybe like 3 feet or so before catching me, but I had the unfortunate luck of there was just this like massive climbing hold that looked like a big old fucking titty, dude. But imagine like a 2 foot diameter titty, right? Like perfect half circle. Coming out from the climbing wall, my right foot caught on it.
Ow.
Yeah. And I like, oh man, yeah. It was like at the very end of the session too. Like obviously I ended the session after that, but like that was literally the last climb I was gonna do. And oh man. So then I limped my way to the car and we got some Deweys, made up for it. But
Yeah, Dewey's
yeah,
is
it's
pretty
still
solid.
it really is. I don't think it's really worth like the price tag.
Nah,
Like I
I
mean,
was just about to say it's kind of expensive, but everything is
D-
expensive. Dude,
Domino's is the fucking
I I went to Chipotle for lunch because I had like no other choice because I was getting my oil changed at lunch, and I got a burrito and a drink, and it was $14. Yeah, I'm never going back there.
dude. That's insane. Back in my day, that was like a burrito was 8, depending on. I mean, if you like pimped it out, you could get it up to like you could get it up to like 11 if you really pimped it out back in my day. And then a drink like that can't be that. They have a combo surely, so you know it's like 12 or whatever.
Yeah,
But
no, I didn't even add any guac, no extra anything. Like literally, it's straight $14. And I remember in high school,
yeah, and you get less, dude. I
yeah, for
like
sure.
I feel like I have the unique perspective on Chipotle. I used to go there a shit ton, like back in the heyday of it, and I go there somewhat infrequently now, but frequently enough to notice trends over time. And you get less shit, especially the expensive stuff like meat and guacamole,
Right.
and they're charging you more for it. I
Yeah,
even get
no, like I
skipped on
said, I
my
had no
rice
other
now.
choice but to go there, and I mean, it tasted fine, but I was like, man, this is way too much money. Like in high school,
Dude,
a chicken burrito was like 6.25. Now it's like $10.
yeah, I'm also old enough to remember when I was in college, Moe's Monday was a $6 burrito or $6 bowl, plus you got chips, and they had unlimited salsa in the store. So like that compared to fucking modern day Chipotle is just a travesty.
Dude, everything sucks now, man. It's actually crazy.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of things that hopefully aren't gonna suck, I'm very excited for Raids 3 tomorrow, and that's coming out on RuneScape for the uninitiated. There
Yeah,
is
I
a
mean, should be interesting at least.
Yeah, so in the game currently there are two raids. The first of which came out in I want to say 2014 maybe, 2015, maybe a little later, but around that time. Maybe like 2016 would be like the absolute latest, but and then the other raid came out in like 2018 or 2019.
It was
Um
2018, I think.
2018. Yep. So there's just been a desert for 4 years, and both of the like, especially the second raid, like there was so much hype around it. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone still enjoys it. And now there's another one coming out. And it's this like desert themed, like kind of raiding a pyramid style raid. And as far as I know, I haven't seen anything on it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if you've paid attention to something that I haven't. The final boss has not been revealed yet. It's kept under wraps entirely. So gonna be a lot of cool shit tomorrow. Me and Tom, who was previously on the podcast, are gonna be up bright and early tomorrow at like 7 a.m. or so to play that, and I think he's taking some time off work as well, so we should have a good little staycation.
Yeah, what have I been paying attention to lately? I don't even know. Just my usual like social media is bad, society is falling apart. Shit, nothing new or interesting.
Dude, did you check out that subreddit, the A Normal Day in Russia?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, it's pretty funny, and there's some Russian language that you can try to.
I follow this Twitter account, Russian memes, but it's translated. The caption is like translated into English at the top. So
Oh, that's pretty good.
oh, I did not need to see that. Okay, the
See
first picture
what?
on that subreddit was interesting. Okay,
I see. Anyway, Yeah, dude, I think learning Russian, partially at least through like media consumption is maybe a good strategy. I might try to get some like cartoons or easily digestible like stuff and probably starting with like honestly like kid shows or something in Russian if possible.
Yeah, no, dude, what was I reading yesterday? Dude, I swear, like, I'm just like always like reading some random shit. I can never remember where I read it, but um, everybody was like, yeah, you like reading Dostoevsky. If you read it in English, like it's so shitty. Like you gotta read it in Russian. And I'm just like, now there's like a burning fire under me to learn Russian. I mean, there already was, but like I have to do it. And it just lines up with exactly what my coworker said. Like, yo, if you're reading this in English, you might as well just not read it. So, but apparently, there's a lot of other interesting Russian authors like Nikolai Gogol, Alexander Pushkin, uh, Ivan, or I guess Ivan Turgenev, um, Solzhenitsyn, obviously. Yeah. So
Have you said Tolstoy?
no, but I mean that's like the obvious one. And then there's like, yeah, I mean, oh, Nabokov slash Nabokov. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's just so much like Russian literature that I really want to read really bad. So
Dude, I want to unironically, well, actually, no, definitely ironically, but either way, I want to get a black Adidas tracksuit.
apparently those are kind of expensive.
Dude, they are. I was looking them at Amazon. It's like $80. I'm like, dude, do I really want to go out $80 for a meme? But I don't know,
I mean,
dude. Come
definitely at least
Halloween,
like if you wear it separately, it's like actual clothes put together as a meme. I think.
dude, I would only wear it put together. That'd be so funny. And then like take public transit and like Slav squat with a cigarette in one
Those
hand.
Adidas Sambas look cool too.
What's that?
It's like their like classic shoe,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
a
also
shoe.
expensive. Samba, Samba, Adidas Samba.
Oh yeah, dude,
You gotta
that's
have
definitely what you
those
would
with
wear
your
with the
tracksuit. You
outfit.
gotta be fully Adidas. I've actually never
Dude,
had an Adidas shoe, so
I don't know if I have either.
I'm currently wearing a pair of Under Armour shoes because my Nike shoes disintegrated. So I'm done with Nike now.
Dude, I've been a big fan, and I think I'll probably ride this train until it fizzles out. The Reebok CrossFit Nanos are a great shoe. They're comfortable enough for an everydayer, and they're kind of like versatile in so much as you can like run in them and lift in them and
Yeah, I mean,
kind of climb shit in them. They're not the best for climbing, but
but yeah, my Under Armours were like $50. These are like 120. So yeah, it definitely looks. I mean, I have like a squatting shoe that's not exactly like this, but it's like the very hard footbed or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean these last quite a while too, because they let me see what the newest ones look like now, but at least the models that I have, the last two that I've gotten, the inside and like the whole kind of wrapping around the edge of the like where the sole meets the other part of the shoe is like this hard versatile like I think it might even be like Kevlar or something, but it's designed to hold the shoe up against like the rope climbs that they have to do in the events. And I really do think it is Kevlar because they do like
All right. So I guess if you're gonna get shot, like hold your fucking shoe up in front of your head or something. it's
yeah, no,
probably not
they
thick
look
enough to
like they
stop
still have
a
it.
bullet,
The
but
Nano X2 at least. And let me actually no, I have a new pair of Nanos that I don't wear yet. Oh, they're these like, oh, dude, they're actually kind of sick. They're National Geographic Nanos, and it might, yeah, it's this X. It might not be the X2, it might be the X1. But yeah, so they have this like the material they're made of. So like the soft material of the shoe can be best described as kind of like the material that you'd see in like a military backpack, kind of like a rough like cargo sort of shit. But then there's really hard like plastic rubber connecting the sole to the like back heel part, and then that extends up kind of the side of the shoe on the inside for the rope climbing, and then it's a flat bottom. But these aren't broken in yet, so I don't wear them. I have my red, white, and blue ones that are pretty much the same thing, except a few models back. But yeah, I've gotten like I think I've gone through two pairs of these shoes, and I'm on my third, and I have the fourth ready to go in the last, I want to say, 7 to 8 years. So maybe one pair every 2.2 years or something like that, which I think the ROI there is decent.
Yeah, I think usually it's like a year and a half per shoe for me.
It's not bad. I go through climbing shoes pretty fast. I feel like I've gone through like three pairs of climbing shoes almost in like a year of climbing, maybe. I don't know how long I've been climbing for, but they get torn up.
Toe up from the flow up.
Oh, dude, and an aside, I this might just be confirmation bias because I feel like men don't get compliments a lot, but when I get complimented by people, it is almost exclusively on my shoes. And like I said, the only shoes I wear are these like Reebok CrossFit Nanos. So
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty like safe thing to compliment a guy by. You know what I mean? It's not like very like aggressive or anything.
yeah,
It's
I
not
I
like
mean
saying
they're
like, bro, like some like random person walks to me like, dude, you just look so fucking jacked, bro. Like I'm admiring so hard right now. I'd be like, thanks, I guess.
hell yeah.
I mean, I guess
And then
if
I
if they
mog
said that
them.
about my shoes, I would still say thanks, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe that's a bad
Yeah,
example.
I mean, yeah, I guess that is a good point. And I did preface this by saying that it could just be like confirmation bias, remembrance sort of thing. But I don't know, dude. A lot of people like them. That's all I'm saying. They think they're snazzy, and they are snazzy, dude. They're red, white, and blue. Like that's pretty fucking
America.
cool. America. I had one guy ask me, he's like, "So, do you have any like family members in the military, or are you just like patriotic?" I was like, "The
This is
latter."
just like $10 off a dick. So
I was like, "I'm gonna be honest, dude. The dude, I was gonna go somewhere with that, and I didn't know how to word it, but basically, the guy that I shot had these on. That could have been a better
yeah,
joke.
right.
Right. Haha. Oh, what was for dinner, dude? You said you ate right before.
I had scrambled eggs, rice, and yogurt, and then high noon
Do you eat rice like with your eggs, or did you have this separately
together.
together? Is that OP?
Rice is like my main carb, so because I'm
Yeah.
Asian, so I don't know. I feel better if I eat rice all the time. So it must be a genetic thing.
Yeah, I used to do, dude, they actually have the red, white, and blue ones in the new, and they look pretty fucking sick. I used to do oatmeal in my eggs. I would do like ham, oatmeal, scramble, and it was pretty good. And you would just like get your carbs, protein, bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, I
But
should experiment with oatmeal more. I don't think I've like really tried to like eat it on a regular basis at all.
yeah, I feel like it's versatile, but I also don't really like eat breakfast, so there's not much oatmeal in my diet nowadays. As a matter of fact, there's practically zero oatmeal in my diet nowadays.
I only eat breakfast
Um,
on days I go in the office because I need like going into the office fast. I just can't like I can't sit in the cube and do that like without food. It's just too sucky. So
yeah, I don't know. I like to sip on coffee throughout my day, and there's some days. I mean, most days my coffee lasts me until after lunch, and there's some days that my coffee lasts me like pretty much all day. So like I keep pretty busy,
nah,
whether
my
that's like
coffee's gone
busy
like
like
before it gets cold.
yeah, no, my coffee definitely gets room temp.
And then I usually get like a espresso shot after lunch. And if I'm feeling really spicy, I get like another one at the end of the day. Or like
Totally.
really tired, I mean.
A lot of caffeine.
Yeah, I mean, like are like interacting with patients and stuff all the time. I might talk to like one person a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's very like not stimulating. So plus it's not like I when I'm at home like I can have like YouTube or Twitch up on the other monitor when it's like chilling. I can't do that. So
yeah, I feel that.
I actually
Well,
did get gassed up on Sunday. I've been going back to church, and there's like at my church there's like a coffee and donuts like thing after every mass or whatever.
hmm
And this old dude was like complimenting me like, "Yo, like you're like super um like you have a good career, blah blah blah. You're handsome. Like, why do you not have a girlfriend yet?" I was like, I'm trying, dude." So I was like, hey, that's. I mean, he didn't say it exactly. He said it like in the maximum gas up way, but I mean, yeah. So, but yeah, I've been actively trying to meet more people because dating apps don't work, as we know. So for me, at least.
yeah, dating apps are trash.
But yeah, I'm hoping before cuffing season starts, I'm cuffed. So
Before what season starts?
cuffing season, bro. You not
What
know
does
what
that
cuffing
mean?
season is?
No.
It's basically the winter, but it's called cuffing season because you want to be like in like a kind of steady relationship for the winter because and you can like be cold together or something. I don't.
Okay.
It's like summer fling, but in winter, basically.
Fair enough.
I can't believe you haven't heard of cuffing season. Oh yeah, you like your school is like mostly white, wasn't it? I feel like my school is like pretty diverse, so I got like all the extra lingo and shit. Your high school, I mean.
Is cuffing season like a diverse thing?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like more what black people say than white people. But like in my school, everybody was saying it, so
Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to the vernacular.
I learned another funny like Gen Z thing. Oh, it's giving. That's what I learned this week. It's giving.
Dude, I liked the quiet quitting. That was so funny. I
Dude,
saw a
that's
Reddit
not
post
even
about
Gen Z.
that
That was from
today.
LinkedIn, but yeah.
I wonder when Brian's gonna quiet quit.
Probably like tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
I mean, quiet quitting is literally just doing your job and not like trying to get promoted, basically. So,
Yeah, no, I agree.
but yeah, so it's giving means like so it's like it's a shortened thing of like what vibe is it giving? So like it's giving happy. So like it's giving happy vibes. Or you ask somebody like what is it giving right now?
Mm,
I learned that
interesting.
last week.
Interesting, dude.
So like it's giving romance. That's what I would say about cuffing season. It's giving romance. What other Gen Z? I mean, bussin'. We all know bussin', cap, no cap, for real. We all know that stuff. The vibes are off, vibe shift, blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, that's all pretty standard.
Me weird vibes.
It's giving weird. Oh, jeez. But I texted my sister, "What is it giving?" and she responded, so she knows. So clearly, yeah. I mean, I'm Gen Z by you're Gen Z too, but I'm Gen Z by like 1 month or something. I just discovered that, so that's why I've been learning all
what's
this
Gen
Gen Z
Z?
lingo. So
What's Gen Z defined as?
Um, like the end of 1996 onward,
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
and then anything before that is millennial. So, I guess in this lull of conversation, I don't have anything more to talk about. So, do you want to end the episode here?
Yeah, let's close her out.
Okay. Thanks for coming to episode 19, everybody.
Peace.
Uh, hope to see you in the tombs of Amascut.
The tombs of
Amaskut.
Amasket, where
Amaskut.
Path of Exile is gonna be buried because it's gonna be dead game.
Yeah. So, yeah. See you guys later.